that means that I need to be able to take all your senses. So you can't be worried about what you gonna cook. But listen, you don't even know, you don't even want to eat no more. Yeah, listen, you done with food. When I got you wrapped around here, around my finger.
Right.
That's the place that we're
Right.
supposed to be. We'll talk about food after we finish, but right now, the only thing I can think about is this moment, you and what we are sharing. So I think that's
Hmm.
very, 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 very important.
Yeah.
And experiences and like you said, compatibility. I had to tell this one person, they was like, man, you could date. And we started talking. We was around the same age. But when we started talking around the same age, and they was talking about how holy they was, and how they just sold out for Christ and the Lord, and they wouldn't take nothing for their journey right now. And I just kept sitting right there, and I kept getting quieter and quieter. And I guess they thought because I go to church sometimes that was impressing me, but it was doing nothing for me. It was like, man, you ain't gonna work because you
Hmm.
know there's no compatibility there because you're gonna want to pray, and I ain't gonna be want to pray like prayer's not on my mind right now because
Right.
you have no balance, and not only that, the experience. Listen, if I know I'm a saved whore lot, they say it correctly in church whore lot. But you've been in the church all your life. Even though we go to the same church, we've been in church all our life. There's some things I did outside of church when we were in here that gave me some experiences that you may not understand. So, like
Hmm.
Shanita said, at least, once a month, that will work for me. We talk about at least once a day. So if you once a month or don't be trying to talk to me because I'm be
Hmm.
knocking every day like, oh, so what you doing? Like, oh,
What is
Right.
you ready to
this?
go to
Yeah.
bed?
Yes.
I ain't saying you may go to
Yeah.
sleep. You ready to go to bed? So compatibility, that is very, very important. So I think that's where a lot of people mess up. Just because you like me, we're attracted to each other. I find your body very nice. Y- Listen, are you a 3 times a week or are you a 3 times a day person? Just we need to
We need
know.
to have that conversation. We need to know that. We need to know
We
that.
need to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
We need to know
And that's
Yeah.
because
another thing that I wanted to say is that we go into we just get so hyped with sex. Sex is good now. Come from sex,
hmm
it's good,
hmm
but we don't stop and pause for a moment with our partner, whoever we're getting ready to lay down with, and have that conversation. Because you're wasting your time and you're giving your body to this person who is getting ready to waste your time. So why not have that conversation? Like, look, this is what I like. What are your strong? I always start with my strong no's and my strong yeses. This
Yeah.
this
Absolutely.
this is what I am not going to do. You cannot persuade me otherwise. And this is what I will do.
Hmm.
And the list, like, talk about those things, because after that, if it wants to go further, then we have wasted my time. You have
That's the
wasted
big part.
mine.
Big part. And I tell people all the time, I do not like my time wasted. And see, I'm
Right.
such a
Yep.
time person and I don't like my time wasted. So if I done linked up with you and we done got ourselves together and you done wasted my time, because of the type of person I am, that's not healthy because now you done waste my time. Now I gotta go look elsewhere. And now you done took up my whole night because I done had to go three more people because you wasted my time. We could have took care of that the
Hmm.
first session.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And people, I mean, everybody can do their own thing, but I'm not gonna wait down the line. I need to know up front. Do
Yeah.
are you just a missionary person? Because absolutely, we cannot do anything. Like,
This is
are you
not gonna
thinking
work.
about
We're not gonna
switching
make
that?
it.
Are you open to trying to, like? I need to know all this, because if not, we can just be friends. We should be
hmm
friends.
It's just the
That's where
only
I'm
I
thing
going.
wish
we can
we
be.
could.
It's friends.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
That's all. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And then I don't know
No,
if we
but
can be
you know,
friends, because you might get on my nerves, because you sound like you're just too vanilla. I don't know. We can't be friends.
True. Yeah.
yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
would have, and I've had conversations with people that are absolutely amazing, and they would do anything for me, and I think they would be great, in a relationship, certain parts. Well, they start talking, I'm like, you just too green. Like I will take you, and I will mess up your mind. You wouldn't know which day of the week it is. I bet I do that to you. No, no. Come talk to me a little while longer. Just go. I bet I do that to you. And I think
Yeah.
that's important. I think that's important.
Mhm.
And
Albert,
I
you was
think
gonna
it's
say
quite
something?
different. Yeah, I think it's slightly different when it comes to how men, engage in being honest about their physical needs. We pretty much put that out there for the most part,
Mhm,
especially in the gay community. Because if I'm going to reach out to you on an app or on a hookup thing, all that information is out there. I'm telling you my kinks. I'm telling you my fetishes. I'm telling you what I'm into, what I'm not into, what I'm willing to do, what position I'm going to do it in, what I prefer to do it in. All of that information, we don't mind putting that out there, to the forefront. What we oftentimes struggle with, and people in general, I would say, is understanding those emotional needs and being in tune with those emotional needs. So, for example, affection. I need to feel loved and adored and wanted, by my partner. And I think Coach Shanita did a really great job talking about that. That is, physical touch. That is sexual intimacy. That is also loving words and kind gestures. I also need to feel acceptance, right? I need to feel
Mhm.
that's an emotional need. I need to feel that you accept and embrace all of me, just as I am, not for who
Mhm.
you want me to be, not for my future potential, but do you truly accept me, flaws and all, every crevice, every, nook, every curve, every cranny. I also need to feel security. That's an emotional need that we oftentimes are not aware of. But I need to feel safe with you. I need
yes.
to feel safe
Mhm.
enough to share my feelings and my thoughts and know that you're going to validate them and that they're going to be met with empathy. I
Right.
need to feel safe to share my truth, whether you
That's true.
like it, understand it, prove it, right?
Yeah.
I want to also feel that you support my decisions and that no matter what, you're going to have my back. There's also the emotional need of
Oh,
trust.
yeah.
Trust.
Mhm.
Yeah, I need to trust your words. I need to trust your
Mhm.
actions. I need to trust your motives. And I need to watch this. I need to trust my place in your life. I want to
Right.
trust that you are being honest with me at all times. I want to trust that you ain't playing games and got me out here looking crazy out here on the internet. I want to
Looking
make
Right.
great.
sure that I'm not having to second guess anything about you, what you said,
Mhm.
or where I stand in your life. And I think another example of an emotional need that we oftentimes don't are not aware that's important for us to have met is that appreciation, that feeling of being valued and feeling important to my partner, right? I need to know that you see my efforts and that you don't take them for granted. I need to know that you recognize and acknowledge the vital role that I play in our relationship as the man or as the woman or as the whatever.
Mhm.
I want to make sure that my contribution to our whole is thanked with loyalty and consistency and consideration and praise. So these are just a few of the, I would say, major emotional needs that we have. All of them, of course, as you both have said, they help us build intimacy, which is the foundation for healthy bonds. And of course, we know that when these needs are not met within our relationships, what we gonna do? We finna look elsewhere. We gonna
Mhm.
resort to unhealthy habits to compensate for the lack thereof. We're gonna grow resentful and mad and angry, and our blood pressure's gonna go go up. We're gonna have a
Mhm.
Yeah.
stank attitude. It may even cause us to doubt ourselves and our worth, right?
Right.
Which will then trigger insecurities and it will trigger depression, which will then
Yes.
keep us even more emotionally isolated from our partner. And I think there are several things that occur in a relationship that cause us to ignore each other's emotional needs. For example, I felt disrespected, whether it happened
Right.
inside or outside of the relationship, that
Mhm.
feeling can cause someone to shut down. And when it happens in a relationship, think about it. It's difficult for me to be affectionate with someone who is always sarcastic, you always impatient, you always irritated with me, you always argumentative, and you intentionally say things to hurt my feeling in the middle of conflict.
Right.
I'm not
Right.
about to do nothing. you know?
Absolutely.
And it's hard to trust and feel secure with someone who has cheated, who withholds information, who
Mhm.
takes advantage of you or puts you in uncompromising situations. I think too sometimes what happens is we've just been together for too long. We just naturally lose the emotional connection, where we understand what each other need
Right.
and we no longer make it a priority to meet those needs. Sometimes we just get busy with life, like Coach Shanita said. Life be lifing. Work be working
Yes.
our nerves and the kids be kidding, you know? And we are tapping in daily to see, hey, boo, what you need? You good? How you feeling? We don't have those kind of conversations. Sometimes it's
Right.
personality differences. You don't like I think Coach Shanita, you said this. You done got on my last nerve. And I done got on
Yes.
your
Right.
last nerve. And
Yes.
and you ain't talking to me and I ain't talking to you and I don't care nothing about them damn needs. You do you, I'ma do me, right?
Don't care.
And then
Yes.
right, like zero.
Right.
In fact, we ain't been talking for 2, 3 days now, so I don't know what you're doing over there in the other room, right?
Right.
And
Yes.
and then there are the mental health challenges that occur during difficult life moments, right?
Mhm.
Loss of a loved one, or you've been laid off, or you guys are kind of going through some things financially, right? And so you've got
Mm.
some personal stress and anxieties. Maybe it's even unhealed hurt from a previous relationship that is really impacting your self-worth. But all of those things impact how we show up to meet each other's emotional needs. But emotional needs are just as important as the physical ones, I would say.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I think that it's absolutely amazing. Having the emotional part of it as well as having the intimate part of it, just expressing all of that. And I was thinking about how all of that just comes together. Thinking about what Shanita said with, expressing how you feel about me. I never forget with my one of my wives. Y'all know I haven't had about too much Frio. But anyway, I'll never
No judgment.
forget.
No
It
judgment.
was it was it, it was it was it was early on in the marriage, and we were filling each other out. And I think I was going to the restroom, and I was going to the bathroom, and I got ready to close the door. And this particular time, she's like, "Why are you closing the door?" And I'm like, just closing the door because I'm used to closing the door. That's the way we raised, you close the door. And she's like, but I've been wanting to say something to you, but I didn't want you to think I was weird. And I was like, oh Lord, what's she about to say? She's like, leave the door open. She's like, 'cause when you be getting up in the morning, and she's like, you go in there, and she's like, you be peeing, and that it just do something to me. She was like, that leave that door open. So at first I'm leaving, closing the door. And next morning I got up, and I jumped up out of that bed with my chest poking out. Once that door open, I stood in front of that toilet. I was like, you know, so her expressing that, I was like, girl, don't do that, don't do that. But her
Mhm.
expressing it, it did something for me. So listen, I
Right.
was ready to wake up because Alvin, morning time wake up, we already in bed anyways. I was like, yes,
We ready. We ready.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I started leaving that door open. It turned some things on in the morning time. We had morning sessions, from that. But it was
Right.
her saying that to me and expressing that, and then her letting me know, okay, wait, you're appreciating even something as simple as that. Then now you've
Mhm.
Mhm.
taken our relationship to another level. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Right.
and expressing things like that. When I would dress a certain kind of way, she'd be like, "Listen, you can't dress like that because we'll never get out of the house. Like we're going to this event." And I would say certain things to her, I'm
Mhm.
like, "Ooh, you put on that dress like that, girl. Take that dress back off real quick. We ain't gonna wrinkle it. Just take it off."
Yeah.
So expressing things like that is very, very important, I
Yeah.
think, for the emotional part of the relationship as well
Right.
as the intimate part of the relationship. And talking, letting people know, and people don't understand all of that emotional and the talking part of it. It comes into spirituality because it's you need people spiritually, and it doesn't even have to be people that
Mhm.
marry. Because a lot of people think, okay, if I'm in a marriage, I need someone spiritually. No, if you are intimate with a person, you're having sex with a person, you need people on a spiritual level, and I'm not talking about on a religious level because that's
Mhm.
two different things. But my
Mhm.
That's
spiritual
good.
level
Yeah.
says, hey, I'm picking up that you're not feeling it today. So if I'm
Mhm.
spiritually connected to you, okay, hey, babe, you ain't got them about 40% today, but listen, I'm sitting on 150, so I can give you some of mine. So I'm able to give. So that's connecting on a spiritual level. Totally different, like I said, from religious. A lot of people want to connect on a religious level, so we just go into the Bible and we figure out how we can connect on a Bible level. Okay, we can talk about what Paul said. We can talk about what those things said. Okay, that's a religious, but spiritual. That means that you got to feel me out because that means spiritually
Mhm.
you're not like everybody else. So I need to know you differently than I know anyone else. So we have to
Mhm.
understand that. But even if we bring in scripture, the Bible talks about that. and one of my greatest books that I tell couples is, Songs of Solomon and Proverbs. Solomon talks about, knowing how to do these things. Why? Because he had about 700 wives and ain't, telling how many concubines. So Solomon
Right.
like, listen, y'all, I got experience with this women thing. Yeah, like I know, I know. Listen, they
Mhm.
will fuss, they will argue, but listen, lay them down in the grass, rub between their breasts. So Solomon's like, listen, calm them down. And people don't understand that even though that is a spiritual part of that, it connects all of that. Coming back to what our sex coach said about it being healthy. Because if you touch
Yeah.
certain parts of me, we don't realize that there are pressure points that helps me. So that's why it's good to
Mhm.
massage your spouse or whatever the case would be. Or like she said,
Mhm.
just touching them certain parts. Listen, to get the juices flowing and things like that. Because our bodies are muscles. It has
Yeah.
things that needs to
Mhm.
be touched. So that is a spiritual part of that. A lot of people they do pressure points to help. And I used to tell my wife sometimes, I'm like, listen, I got a headache. Listen, I need me some. And at first
Right.
she was like, you just want some. I'm like, no, I need some. And come to
Mhm.
find out, because I deal with chronic migraines, and come to find out that the release and the pressure that I was releasing, it was actually helping. I started coming off some of
Mhm.
my migraine medicine. And I was like, ha, listen, girl, I got a migraine up on my way to the house. I need some medicine. You be there ready with the prescription. That means no
Right.
panties on. No panties. No panties. But
It's
but
so
we learn that as expressing with each other and exploring with each other and trying different things. And I'm like, okay, my body's off today. Okay, I've been working all week. I've been here. I've been there. Ain't got me none. That's a problem. So
that's
Hmm.
a
we don't
problem.
understand that health, emotional, physical, spiritually, all of that comes together when we're talking about this. And we have to use all of those to be happy. Even coming to the point of view where Paul talks about fasting. And he says, listen, don't fast too long because you need to talk to your significant other. Why did he say that? Because we have to understand that our significant other has needs. So if you're
Right.
over there fasting 24/7, and I'm over here like, I've been waiting, Lord, I'm getting a headache. Lord, I done got mad. I'm about to lose my job because I'm snapping on
Yeah.
everybody at the job. And they over there fasting. I'm gonna need you to come out there fasting and deal with what you're supposed to deal with. And that's
Yeah.
what
Right.
Paul was saying. Paul was like, you can't be in fasting too long. I don't care how spiritual it is, you have a fleshly body that has to be taken care of. So you have to
Mhm.
do that. So being spoken, we have to understand that we have to communicate with our significant others and say, listen, I'm gonna take some moment, it may not just be you, or it may be an issue where I might be sore. I need to heal up a little bit, but I'm gonna take a moment. So
Yeah.
communicating with that's spiritual, that's emotional, that's health wise, all of that. And I think we have to do all of those things to, express those things and let them know what you're dealing with. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
Bishop,
But Coach
let me
Alvin,
ask you
you
this
you
Absolutely.
better than me. So you know.
Let me ask you this question because,
Yeah.
specifically, and you mentioned fasting is one of those needs in a relationship that you may have to communicate to your, significant other. Hey, I need to take a break because I need to, focus spiritually intently on something else. What other things, it's like in your counseling of couples and just your work in ministry, like what are some of the other spiritual needs that can come between couples or that couples would have to relate to one another or kind of work through? Like what are the spiritual needs?
Well, I'll say one of the greatest things is, and when you can find a significant other, especially if you're in church, serving, if you can find a significant other that serves in church with you, that is amazing. But
Yeah.
this is what I think we get mixed up is if they don't serve like you, we want to say that they're unequally yoked. No, that's not true.
Mhm.
Unequally yoked meaning not having beliefs like you, but we may
Yeah.
not serve like you because we have different gifts and talents. So, and I see
Mm.
this with a lot of preachers. They always want to make their wife the co-pastor. And I'm like, they shouldn't even be the
Mm.
usher at the door yet, let alone the co-pastor. What are you thinking?
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because they feel like, okay, we can't be unequally yoked. So I tell people all the time, that's one of the things that you have to express in a relationship. Listen, and that's one of the first things I say when I'm dating, because people are like, oh, you're a bishop and you do this and then why would you want to date me? And like, I don't know if I can compare. Listen, I'm the bishop.
I'm
You're
your
not
minister. Yeah.
You let me handle that at the church, but
Yeah.
I'm talking to you on a whole nother level. What I do at church, that's not your job. That has
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing to do with you. So we have to
Yes.
understand that and we have to communicate that. I think we have to do that because we would expect it from our spouse. So if like my job as the leader, as the intercessor is to be in prayer certain hours of the day. So that may be times where I may be at the church for 6 hours laying on my face. I have to be able to express it to my wife. But if my wife says or my significant other says, listen, I know you're doing those 6 hours, but I'm feeling a little left out. So is it
Mhm.
possible to do 3? Well, no, no, no. You're not gonna take my time away from God. No, no, no. Hold on. They have communicated this to you effectively. So you have to have a
Mhm.
balance. And a lot of people in spirituality and church don't realize that they're not taking you away from God. They're asking you to
Well,
just kind of, tone it down a little bit and spend a little time with that. And you never know because I feel like intimacy is part of spirituality. You never know being intimate and taking that time could grow them to that place where they're able to pray with you for 6 hours if that's a desire for yours. But for me, it was just my job. So when they was asking me to stop praying, I was like, oh yes, like thank you. You take my mind, focus off something else. It's like, no, I don't need you to pray 6 hours with me. If we could do 3 hours on something else, thank you. Thank
right.
you. So
Right.
effectively,
Mhm.
communicating that, and knowing that you know what God has called you to do, you know what your gift is. Don't push that on your leader and let them know, okay, this is what God has given me to do. But at any time that it causes a problem or you feel like you are not getting the attention that you need, we need to talk. Because what we try
Right.
to do is we say God is a jealous God, and we feel like we got to give God 90 hours out of the day and give our wife or our, other person, an hour. No, that's not the way it goes. It's not the way it goes.
Mhm.
Make sure that you acknowledge God effectively. But you spend most of your time with your spouse or your significant other. It is your job to make them happy in the physical
Yeah.
sense. So
Yeah.
I hope I
That's
answered
good.
that question, Coach.
No, that's good. That's good. I know a lot of people struggle with that, especially people that are still a part of church or go to church. Like, where's the balance between, and especially leaders,
Mhm.
where's the balance between serving God and serving my spouse? And I know a lot of women who support men or who are married to or partnered with men in ministry, even gay, first G's. I've spoken to have that kind of issue of trying to understand where's my place and how do I tell this person who's so important, who's helping do so many great things in the lives of all of these people? How do I communicate that I actually need more of them at home? That's a hard,
Yeah.
hard thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I like
Right.
that you said that, Coach, because, we're on YouTube and, we're on social media, whatever, and people will say, and people say, did he say first G? He said first G. That's what he said. Now, it's
That's what
different
he said.
cultures and different churches differently, but it goes
Yeah.
to show that when you are in a relationship with a person that is in leadership, it's not just a church, but there are a whole lot of
That's true.
politician wives feel like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
People that are, in the police department that works for the
Right.
FBI, they feel like that because they're like, okay,
Healthcare.
where is my place?
Mhm.
Where's
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
place? So, we have to understand that when you have a job is very serious because ministry is a job. People feel like that, where is my place? And that's why I always tell people, listen, I married you. I have this job, but I married you. And if I get too caught up in this, you need to let me know because I need to be aware of that. So if
Yeah.
you
Right.
have someone that's in leadership in their job, yeah, that may be an issue, communicate that. Communicate that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's very
Yeah.
important. Very important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we're gonna give some tips. And I think there's been tips and for desires for love and all that kind of stuff. And listen, I don't think I'm gonna give no tips. I'm just gonna listen because I know y'all finna give me some good tips. I'm gonna take some notes. Cause listen, I guarantee you tomorrow I'm gonna be on the streets like, listen, y'all, I got a tip. Y'all know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna print some things out and I'm gonna put them on the boards and stuff at the stores and stuff. Listen, I'm so serious about it. This is serious. This ain't got serious.
Yeah.
So, so we definitely gonna go with ladies first. We're gonna ask you to give us some tips for communicating those needs and those desires and things like that.
Very first tip I would say is know your person. Know
Mm,
your person. When it comes time to communicate those needs and desires, know when to approach your person.
Mhm.
If your person is not a morning person, that is not your time.
Bad
Yes,
timing.
that is
That is not
so
your time.
amazing.
Yeah.
That is not your
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
If your person likes to scroll on the phone, that's something they like to do. Don't bother them while they're doing that. If you do pillow talk, if you see a person's eyes closed, don't tap them and wake them up because now you're being met
You
with
sleep.
attitude. Now they don't hear what you're saying. You're
No.
met with
No.
attitude because now you're on my nerves because
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in the morning time, I don't want to talk. I don't want to be up. I
Yeah.
want to be in the bed.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
looking on my phone because this is my way of I'm winding down from the day. Just let me scroll. Let me
Mm,
scroll on
Right.
this phone. Let me
Right.
scroll on it. Just
let
give me
Yeah.
10
me.
minutes.
Let me have my time. I need my time. Give me my time.
And I'm speaking to myself as I say this because I deal with these things because when I
Yeah.
want something, I want it right then. And it requires patience because you won't look. I need,
Yeah.
but I'm like, okay, she need to wait a second, give them a minute. But
Mm.
yeah, and then if that person is going to sleep, why? Why are you tapping them? Because
Bad
immediately
time.
they're like, what?
Yes.
You need what? Shut up. Right. I don't care what you need. I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah,
Hey. Right.
it's not going to be a constructive conversation. Like,
Right. Right. Right.
so know your person. Know when
Yeah.
to approach your person. Know how to approach your person. If you have a person, again, you have to know your person's past, things that they have gone through, traumas or whatever. You got to know. I can't come at you like this if you have gone through a lot of things
Trauma.
at home as a child or whatever. I can't come to you strong like that because
That's
Yeah.
so
now
true.
I'm shutting down because why are you coming at me like that? You making
Mm.
now I'm geared to disappear because you're
Mm-hmm.
coming on too strong. I don't boom,
Mhm.
boom, 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 boom. Them walls have gone up because what's happening? I got to retreat now because I don't understand this. So we got to watch our tone, and it's
Mm.
very important when talking to your person, especially if if they love touch. Touch your
Mm-hmm.
person when you talk to them.
Mm.
That
That's
sets
good.
that
That's good.
sets the tone. It sets the atmosphere. Touch them, gentle touches. It's the same thing
Mm-hmm.
I tell the kids, gentle touches. So
Yeah.
that's calming them. Just like, okay, calm them down. Like
Yeah.
I'm coming to you in love.
Yeah. Let
Coming
me,
to
let me
you in
hold your
love.
hand. Come here. Let me hold your
Yeah.
hand. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
if I'm sitting down, you standing over me, like, look,
Yes.
I need this. This ain't
Mm-hmm.
working. This is trash.
Mm-hmm. That's good advice. That's good. Yeah.
And
Mm.
I'm speaking out of experience because I've done it all. I'm being very transparent. I've done it all. This is all about learning and growing. You learn and
Yeah.
you grow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you'll get more out of a person when you come to them in love. Check your tone, check your posture, check everything when you come to them. Know your person. Like,
Yeah.
if your person, for example, likes touch, give them a pedicure while you're talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
That way they ain't
Oh.
going nowhere. Think about it. They can't go nowhere. You got you
Yeah.
got
Nowhere.
the feet. They're in a relaxed position
Yeah.
and they're winding down. Start pressing into that foot real good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That pressure point. That pressure point. Right.
Yeah. Get that soft voice. Babe, I was thinking, about the other night. See how different. See, I got your attention just by
You
doing that.
sure did. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've been trying.
I'm getting in.
I was
Like,
wondering
what
what
do
you
I
were
do?
thinking about the other night. I'm like, what we
Yes.
talking about the other night?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, what you need me to do, coach? What you need me to do? I'm
Right.
here.
Even then, you guys came in, but when I did that, y'all did that.
No. Yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
Get out my face. Don't be
Yeah.
in my face. Yeah.
So those things right there, just watch
Yeah.
your tone, watch your posture, just learn your person, know how to approach them and when to approach them.
That's
Yeah,
good. That's good.
I like that.
Hey,
I
let
like
me ask
that.
you this, coach. So what advice would you
Mhm.
give someone who feels like, okay, I'm ready to have the conversation, but I am scared. I am scared. I'm filled with anxiety. I'm afraid about what they're going to say. Or maybe my ego is in the way. I can't say it because my ego is in the way, and I feel like I shouldn't even have to ask for this particular thing. You know, how do you get out of that grip?
Hmm. What I would say to that is, and I hope I'm answering your question, the worst thing you can do in going into those conversations, though, after all that I said, the worst thing you can do is go in with the expectation that that person is going to agree with what you're going to say or like
Mhm.
it, love it. It's it starts with self-love. It's going in it
Mm.
with, you know what? This is for me.
Ah, good. Yep.
This is what I need.
Yep.
This is what I desire.
Yeah.
If this person cannot give me what I need, if it can't be a compromise, uh, then this is not my person. And we have
Mm.
to be okay with that.
Yeah.
But it's again, it's about self-love. I'm not gonna go in and then if he says no to everything or she says no to everything, I'm not gonna settle and just say, well, okay, well, yeah. No. What about your needs? What about my needs?
Yeah.
So do it afraid,
Mm,
That's good. Yep.
do it
Yeah.
afraid,
mm,
but you gotta love yourself enough to say, this is it. This is what I want. This is what I need. If I can't have it, it was a good time, but we have to go our separate ways.
Mm.
absolutely.
That's
And I like
good.
that you
Yeah.
said do it afraid because if we really think back, anything that we've accomplished in life, when we first started it, we mostly started it afraid. Even if we may not remember when we probably first started walking, we probably started afraid, taking those first
Mhm.
few steps. So I think that was very powerful what you just said. Do it afraid. Do it afraid. If you want to explore different things, if you want to, express things to your significant other and you're not quite sure, do it afraid. So
Mhm.
you better help me, Cole.
Yeah. Yeah.
You better
And
help
I
me,
love
Cole.
I love what you said because everything that you just mentioned, Shanita, was really about how to set the tone for the conversation and how to do that self check. I think if I could offer some advice, um, it would be with regards to the actual conversation that you're now talking with the partner, right? So I would say use I statements instead of you statements, right? Because you
Mhm.
statements make it feel like you're judging your partner or you're condemning them.
Mhm.
It speaks solely from your own perspective, your own feelings, and your own experiences or perspectives. Um, for example, say to your partner, I don't feel appreciated versus you don't appreciate me.
Right.
Or I
That's good.
need yeah, I need more physical intimacy versus you ain't doing it enough. Or I feel I'm not being told the whole story versus I know you lying.
Mhm.
Or I'm not happy with our lack of communication versus why you ain't talking to me. Those I
Yeah.
statements help ensure your message is clearly received. Because once you have offended your partner with accusatory statements, or once you've offended them by focusing solely on what they did or didn't
Mhm.
do, your message has been lost.
Yep.
You've lost them. I think too, listen actively, right? Don't be so quick to speak your mind or prove your point or make counter arguments that you really forget to listen to your partner's perspectives and feelings. Use your body, like we just did a moment ago, to lean in, to
Mhm.
engage, make eye contact, nod to let them know that you understand and that you're hearing them. You want to avoid, of course, interrupting them. You don't want to talk over them. You want to repeat back what they've shared too, right? That's really good. To let them know that I got you. I hear what you're saying. I feel you. Be open-minded, be non-judgmental, and of course, be empathetic. And then finally, I would say, be very clear and direct. But like you said, Coach Shanita, don't be aggressive, right?
Right.
Voice your needs with clarity and conviction. Because again, we don't have nothing to be ashamed of. These are our feelings, and we have a right to give them voice. But we got to be mindful of our word choices, right? Make sure we're not speaking out of anger or frustration. We want to avoid negativity, overgeneralizations. You always, you ain't never. We want to avoid that. We want to avoid like the hurtful name calling that happens sometimes. Where your stuff little anyway, little, we don't want to call the man little. We don't we don't want to do stuff like that. And we want to
Absolutely.
avoid, yeah, we want to avoid the trigger words. And we know what those trigger words are. And I think too, finally, Coach Shanita, like you said, just watch your tone throughout the entire conversation. Make sure you're calm, make sure you're cool, make sure you're collect. And again, because the purpose here is to have your needs heard and understood, and you don't want that to get lost in tone. Yeah.
Absolutely. I do agree. Um, and I think we lost coach for a minute, but she can come back
Oh,
in. Uh,
okay.
but yeah, she can come back in. But I do agree with you, Coach Albie. And for so many reasons, because there's so many things that I've kind of dealt with to understand exactly where you guys are coming from with
Yeah.
uh, uh giving that out. Talking, I think because my eldest son has autism, and I
Uh-huh.
learned how to be more expressive in my relationship while talking with him. I learned how to do
Yeah.
that because I learned that I couldn't just come at him like that, and I couldn't stand over him, but I had to come to eye level and just, communicate to make him feel comfortable. And after I
Right.
learned how to communicate with him, I was like, okay, yeah, so I'm learning how to speak to my relationship. So I had to learn that in the relationship as well because
Yeah.
my son having autism, like just being loud, it was like he would just shut down. It's like we wouldn't get anything accomplished. So
Yeah.
I learned that because there would be times when I would be speaking to my wife and I'm like, I'm talking to you, like I'm giving you the attention you want. And she's like, but why you can't just sit down? Well, my mouth is moving. That's all that needs to be done. I use my mouth, not my legs, not knowing, okay, come on, let's come down to our level. Let's calm down and let's
Be
take this down
present.
to the
Be
place.
present with
Yeah,
me. Yeah.
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 So
Can y'all
I
hear me?
absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
Yeah. So I
Sorry about
absolutely
that.
I had to learn
You're
that. I
right.
had to learn that. It's quite all right. It's quite all right. I had to learn that. Um
Yeah.
and and not only like you said, Coach Albie, using I feel. Because a lot of
Mhm.
times, a person may not be aware of what's going on. And you may be all yourself aware, but it's not really what you're saying. So bring out what I feel this way. I had a conversation with a friend of mine the other day like that because we had some words. And I thought, like, well, we're good. And then we talked about it, and it was like, well, no, I was like, oh, okay, well, we need to talk about this because, that's not what it was going on. What I was saying, that's just what I was saying, but it was not the way you took it. So, communicating like that, I think that is very, very, very important. I think so.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bishop, what about like after the conversation? Like, we've set the tone, we've had the conversation. Like, what do you think are some things that we should keep in mind post the conversation? Any suggestions or tips?
Well, I think one of the things that you should keep in mind is like our coach Sharita said, knowing your partner, knowing
Yeah.
triggers, knowing how to talk to them, when to talk to them. So keeping that in mind before the conversation. That helps to go into the conversation. Just like you said,
Right.
if
Mhm.
you know it's sleep time, okay, this is not the time to sleep. Because I've had those moments. And like you said, those are things that we've dealt with. I've been in that place where I'm like, listen, this is not the time to talk. Like, why you want to talk to me? And it's like, okay, you know what? Since you want to talk, let's talk then. I'm up. And then it's like, why you yelling at me? Why you take up yelling at you? So now we at a whole different place and something that we could have dealt with tomorrow now is escalated. So now we didn't even accomplish the first thing, and we done added three more things to it. So I think that's one thing that we have to think about. What situation are we going into? What are they dealing with at work? What are they dealing with? What are we dealing with as a whole before I go into this relationship? So those are things that we have to think about before going into those conversations. And then afterwards, I think that after we express those things, I think um taking some time and getting along and reflecting on what that person has said to you is very,
That's
very
good.
good.
Yeah.
not just in that
Mm-hmm.
moment, but getting along with your thoughts, having your time, whether it be just scrolling through your phone, as our coach Shanita said, scrolling through your phone. Because there are times where
Mm-hmm.
I'll scroll through my phone, and as I'm scrolling through, I see a post that my spouse or whoever was talking about. I'm like, they said the same thing. Maybe I might need to give them more attention in this area because they just said that, but I didn't get it how they said it. So giving them that time to kind of like, let that soak in or having that moment, I think is very, 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 very important. Yeah. And I
Hmm.
learned all
Mm-hmm.
these things, so maybe third time's a charm, I get married again. I might
Yeah.
have it right. I just might have it right. I just might have it right. So those are ways, and I think another thing is if your partner says, okay, no, we didn't come to a conclusion and that didn't work or whatever the case may be, find other avenues in another direction. Don't try to force what you think just because
Right.
you think it's the best. Your partner may not see it that way. And the thing about it is give it time. Because just because they don't see it in that moment, um,
Mm-hmm.
working with them could help them see it later. Don't just get so upset with them. But try a different avenue, try a different thing. And that's what I tell people. Listen, if I tell you it's over, you best believe I done tried A through Z and there's no
Everything.
more letters. There's nothing
Everything.
else I can do. So I've tried everything. So
Yes.
and I think that
Yes.
when you sincerely want to be in something with a person, you will go through those depths of trying everything. But if you see a
Hmm.
person that's really not even trying, they might not really want you. They just might want what you got. Something. You know.
That's
So
reality. Yeah.
those are my
Mm-hmm.
thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts on
That's
that.
good.
And
Yeah.
listen, yeah, I done told my business about how, um my missionary now. Albie, I always just be telling my business. Why you let me do that? Why
Well,
you
I
let me do
mean,
that?
we're
Listen.
overcome by the word of our testimony. So it is what it is.
Absolutely. But listen, I gotta ask y'all for some personal stories, some personal testimonies of things that y'all kind of dealt with, dealing with this
Oh,
topic where you've had to express it, where you've had to be, the person that was being expressed to. Just as Coach Anita said, she's been guilty on both ends, where she's been that person that's been aggressive. So, I want to be in y'all business now. I told my business. So,
yeah.
ladies first, come on, Coach.
Yeah.
Shanita, tell me your business.
Yeah. And Shanita,
Okay.
share what you got right, and maybe one thing that you got wrong.
Yes.
Okay. I'll give you a situation where I just didn't get it right at
Okay.
all. Um, I was with an individual, and this was a long time ago. But anyway, I was with an individual, and it was trash. It was trash.
It was trash. The
Um,
it is being
It
it, right?
it was
It.
it
trash.
was
Okay. It
trash. Yeah. And
got it.
instead of expressing that in a loving way or having that conversation, um, it sounds bad, y'all, but I'm not this person anymore. I said, why don't we just play Tunk or something? I just stopped him and said, let's just play.
What? A card game, Shanita?
That was,
No.
that's horrible. That's horrible.
Dang.
But that was many
Okay.
moons ago. Many moons ago.
Yeah.
I would not do
Yes.
I wouldn't do it like that. So, but yeah, that is an example of one way not to communicate.
Got you. Got you.
Listen, listen. I'm petty. So next time I have a situation like that, I'm like, Uno?
Right. Right. Yeah. 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 Let's play spades. Let's not do. Let's just go and play spades. Right.
Yeah, because honey,
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
doing again? What we say, you're wasting my time.
Wasting time. Wasting time. And what about the time when you really got it right, Coach?
Oh, he's still working on me. He is still working on me. But no, I am getting better with when I hear myself at that high, because I have a very
Yeah.
strong personality. I am very aggressive. There's something that I'm working on, how to
Mm.
express myself differently. So I at during the conversation, I had myself at this high. I'm like, ah! And then I was like, wait a minute. And in that moment, it's that learning how to apologize at that moment, not waiting next week, next year. But at that moment, I was like, wait a minute. I'm talking to you the wrong way. I said, I'm just upset right now. I'm frustrated. I said, but I apologize for talking to you like that. And then I went forward and expressing the right way. And it sometimes just an apology just changes the atmosphere. Just
Splits everything.
apologize.
Yeah.
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 Say, you know
You're right.
what? I was wrong.
Yeah.
Accountability. That is a really, really big word for me.
Yeah.
Accountability. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
That's all people need to hear. It's like,
Yeah.
you're not right all the time. I messed up.
Yep.
I messed this up this time.
Yeah.
That's true.
So yeah.
Yeah. I think the one time that I got it right was I was dating someone and it was not good. And so I, had the conversation with them, and instead of saying you this, you that, you, what you should do, how you should do it, where it should go, um I I just made the focus me. I would be happier if, I felt this way, or if we did it this way, or I,
Mhm.
think this, or I feel this way. So I'm really good at the I statements. What I've gotten wrong in the past is what you both alluded to earlier, is once you've stated the need and the person says either no, they can't, or they've shown you that they're not interested, you got to make a decision. And I did not make a decision. I actually stayed much longer in it. And it caused depression. It caused me to feel like I was not worthy of the thing that I was asking for. I started to second guess, well, maybe you're too fat for that, or maybe you're too ugly for that, or
Mhm.
maybe, these are all the things that go on in your mind when the person that you're with and that you love very much, is not trying to attend to those needs. So instead of recognizing that, okay, it's a no, whether they said it or not, their actions said no, and making a decision to leave or to, I stayed. That was my I made a huge mistake by staying in a place that I was not satisfied or fulfilled in for far too long.
Mm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What
Absolutely.
about you, Bishop?
You know, I can attest to all of that. I can really, really attest to that. And I think I guess on my end was thing about it is we worked through so much before and all this kind of stuff. So now we're at a place where it's not working and we're effectively communicating it and but it's worked before. So there's a need for me to move on because it's gonna work again. And I
That's
think
what you think. That's what
yeah,
you
I
think.
was just there
Yeah.
there too long and needed to shift into that. And it just, oh, Lord have mercy. One thing that I used to do, and I think I learned better. I don't know. I don't know, but I done been real petty. So y'all got me telling my business. Listen, once it would get to the place where it was like I was shut down, and it's like I don't just shut down and just stop, but listen, we gonna stop. I'm leaving the house. I'm going to get in the car. I'm gonna take a drive or whatever the case may be because like you didn't hear me, I didn't hear you. We didn't get nowhere. I'm wasting my time. You wait, and that's the thing. And I would do that. It was to one point, Albie, Coach Anita. I went and jumped on a plane and went to a whole nother country. I was like, listen, I'm big man. I'm so listen, you know what? You ain't gotta say nothing. That's all right. Let me go in
I'm
this
out.
closet. Yeah. Got on the plane.
Wow.
She's like, where you at? Boarding. Boarding where? The plane. Bye. I'll see you when I get
Wow.
back. But yeah, that was the thing. And like I was
Yeah.
like, I can't keep doing this. Either we're gonna
No.
fix this or either we gotta go our separate ways because this
Yeah.
is not healthy. But in no
Mhm.
kind of way. It wasn't healthy. But I did realize that I had to give her space to communicate with you because it was
Yeah.
always a shutdown. Like because I'm giving you all this and I'm doing all this, but you're not really giving me what I'm desiring. you know. So
Yeah.
I wasn't really listening. So yeah, I had to work on that, but it wasn't my fault. She wasn't listening that time when I went and got on the plane. So that was different. That was different. That was different.
And I would say too, we and speaking to women, especially black women. Yes, I'm talking to y'all. Come on in the room. Um,
Come on in the room.
when you say shut down, we are the queens of shut down. I
Mm,
am. uh, yes, my name is Shanita, and I am the queen of shut down. I am
Right.
working on it. I am working on it, but we have to realize that it is a form of manipulation,
Yes.
mm, mm-hmm,
and is really in simple terms being a brat.
mm-hmm,
If I
Hmm.
don't get what I want, I ain't saying nothing. Don't touch me. Don't try to talk to me. Don't nothing. Don't
mm-hmm,
look at me. Don't be concerned about me.
mm-hmm.
I want you to be concerned about me, but I'm gonna
Right.
pretend like I don't concerned
Yeah.
Hmm.
about me.
Because I've shut down. I've shut
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Shut
Hmm.
shut it down.
Yeah.
And I, like I said, I'm getting better, but I used to be so bad about that. Like shut it all the way down, as in you have disappeared in my mind,
Yeah.
in my heart, and everything
Yeah.
else. Who
Everything.
are you? What is your name?
Your name
I
is
never met
stricken from
you.
every book, right?
All of it. All of it. I ain't never
But we
seen you a
do
day in
it
my life.
right. We do it
Hmm.
and we do it well, and that's something that we have to get away from. Is being really immature and that's not showing up for yourself or your partner.
Yeah.
How are we
Absolutely. And
fixing
that's
it
what I
if
was
you're
gonna
shutting
say.
down?
Yeah. Absolutely. I was gonna say I tell people that taking it from the scripture point of view, when the word of God says, when I was a child, I spake as a child, but then I put away those childish things. That goes so many ways, even in a relationship when you do those type of things, and that's what helped me to work on it. Because I started thinking about it, I said, man, it's kind of like going back to the mindset of when I was a child and I would be in school and something didn't, okay, I'm gonna go in the corner by myself because I don't like this. So we take that childish mentality into the relationship, and that's what we
Mhm.
do. We need to grow up. We be playing too much.
Mhm.
I don't know about Albert, but me and Shanita, we need to grow up. We need to grow
Need
up.
to grow up.
Well, I think we all have areas that we have to grow up in. I'll give you a prime example, and I don't want to prolong this, but I have had in the past, and I think a lot of gay men do this. We do this thing where we ghost, right? We don't really take the time to have a conversation about our needs and what we like or don't like, or why we might have met a person and something they said triggered us or we didn't like it. And instead of having the conversation of, hey, listen, blah, 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 this, I think this is how I feel, we just ghost. And Shanita and I were talking about this the other day, and she was like, that's a form of manipulation and control as well. And I've been guilty of that. Like, a lot of times I feel like, well, it ain't worth the conversation. Like, and what me telling you what I think, it ain't gonna make a difference. That's how a lot of us in the gay community feel like, you ain't worth the time investment for me to sit here and try to teach you and show you and explain to you how this is toxic and how this wouldn't work and how I don't want that and how I don't want to do this. Just ghost you. Just, and move on with life. And that leaves a lingering residue of hurt with the other person. It's not
Mhm.
always fair to them for you to leave in that way. So that's something that I have had to work on and am having to be more mindful of as I engage gay spaces, whether that's, dating apps or just in, settings where I'm meeting people. I'm really good at ghosting. Like it's like, yeah, like, okay, yeah, you're not wasting my time. Goodbye. No explanation, no no conversation. Just I'm gone. I'm 46 and I don't have time. That's not always healthy to do. Now, if the person was doing something harmful or mean, shutting down, shutting off is good. But these people didn't warrant it. So yeah, gotta
Mhm.
gotta get better at that.
I get that. I get that. Like I'm out of here. I Nothing to be talked about. We gone. We ghosted.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
I'm out. I'm done. Yeah. Yeah. And what that
absolutely.
does is it prevents the other person from having the learning experience they need to grow, to get
Mhm.
better, to understand the truth that they need to hear. Like we yeah, and you deny that person an opportunity to be better when you're not honest, when you just choose to ghost.
Right.
Mm.
Because they need to know that their sex is trash.
For real.
Yes.
I
So
mean, I know we gotta go, y'all, but why we be doing that? Just tell the people the truth. Yeah, how was that?
We-
Well, oh, that was not. No, it was horrible. It was trash. Don't you ever do that to nobody else ever again.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially women, we do it so much because we don't want to bruise the male ego.
yeah.
Mm,
And
We want
well, it's
to.
same
mm,
thing. It's same thing with men too, and gay men.
Mhm.
Too. Like with gay men, I'm gonna tell you what it really is. We've got 15 other options at the table. I'm not fitting. I'm not gonna go do no. Yeah, we're not finna have a conversation. I'm just gonna move on to the next one in the roster because again, for us, intimacy is disposable. You see what I'm saying? That's
right.
how we get these spaces
Mhm.
where intimacy is so disposable. It's as quick as the next swipe. So I don't need to
Mm,
take the time to tell you nothing. I'm just going to get what I need to get. And that's not fair.
understood.
It's not fair.
Understood.
You're
Mm-mm.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. See, we gonna help the people after a while. We gonna help them. We gonna help them.
It's the love
Listen,
lounge. That's what
y'all.
we need to do.
This
Right.
is the Love Lounge. And I like
Yeah.
that our topic says, express what you need, not what you want. Total big difference. So today
Two
we've
different things.
expressed the things that's needed. And
Yeah.
oh, you don't need that. Every individual's differently. So if you have a partner that is expressing these things, that may be some things that they need in their life. So they might need a pressure point massage, they might need some other stuff. They might need more than missionary. They might need libertarian and upper area, car area, dryer, washing machine area, refrigerator area, all that. They might need that. They're communicating it. So listen to the
Yeah.
people when they tell you what they
Yeah.
need. Coach Alvin, you got anything you got to say about that?
No, I listen, I think this is a great topic. I think we should all be asking for what we need. I love how Coach Shanita started us off by reminding us we deserve it. And so my closing statement would be you deserve it. You deserve the best. You deserve to never have to settle. You deserve to be completely fulfilled in love relationships. You deserve to have your voice heard. You deserve to speak it. And yeah, I say go for it. Ask for what you need.
That was good. Okay, Coach Anita, what you got to tell the people before you leave out of here?
He kind of took the words out of my mouth, but I will add on to that is to know what you need.
Yes.
Mm,
Discover what you need.
Yeah.
mhm.
Discover your body, what your body likes, what your body dislikes. There are things that you can do on your own to discover those things. So you cannot tell anyone how to love you if you don't know how to love yourself.
That's
That's
good.
good. That's
That's good.
good. That's good. So y'all, she said discover. The only way you're gonna discover is you got to discover. So you got to play with some things and do some stuff. So listen, y'all, we're gonna have some more of that good conversation because we got our sex go. She gonna tell us what to do with it, how to do with it, what you can buy to help yourself out if you buy yourself, different things that you need to discover. So we're
Right.
gonna
Discover.
talk about that. So y'all come back on this season. Y'all gonna see so many great things. Y'all be on the lookout for our new topics, our new flyers, and we'll tell you everything that's coming up. Listen, we've had an amazing, amazing time here at the Love Lounge. Y'all come back and see us right here on the Love Lounge, right here on the podcast on YouTube. Y'all can visit some of our other social medias. But listen, y'all, we love y'all, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Until next time, y'all, we gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here. We'll see y'all later. Until next time. Bye,
Bye.
y'all.
Bye.
We love y'all.
Bye.